What if I told you a tiny dark spot on the sun, no larger than Earth, could trigger a blackout across an entire continent? This isn't science fiction, this is real. It's already happened and it could happen again. They are called sunspots. Most people ignore them, but scientists know they are the pulse of sun's wrath. And here's the terrifying part. Sunspots don't just warn us about solar storms, they help predict them. And right now, they are exploding in number. Sunspots are cooler, darker patches on the sun's surface formed by intense magnetic activity. While the surface blazes at 6000 centigrade, sunspots hover around 4000 centigrade, still scorching but dark enough to stand out. But here's what really matters. These points are magnetic pressure points, places where energy builds and then bursts. They are often the birthplace of solar flares and coronal mass ejections, the massive solar eruptions that drive space weather. Space weather might sound abstract, but its impact is dangerously real, and sunspots, they are ground zero. When a massive sunspot unleashes a coronal mass ejection, billions of tons of charged plasma race towards Earth at millions of kilometers per hour, and when that wave slams into our magnetosphere, it can short-circuit satellites, disable GPS, disrupt air traffic, and knock out entire power grids offline. And in 1989, only one such storm plunged Canada's Quebec province into darkness, and in just 90 seconds. And that came from a sunspot smaller than some of the ones we are tracking right now. And here's the pattern. The sun operates on an 11-year cycle of rising and falling activity. And guess what? We are nearing the peak solar maximum. More sunspots, more eruptions, more risk. And just last month, scientists recorded a sunspot cluster 30 times the size of Earth, and it erupted with enough force to temporarily knock out shortwave radio across the parts of the globe. And experts warned that was just the beginning. We live in a world that runs on satellites, weather forecast, airline traffic, internet connections, even military systems. But a single powerful solar storm triggered by a sunspot can shut it all down instantly. Even Elon Musk's Starlink satellites have experienced disruptions, and astronauts abroad, the ISS, must take emergency shelter when a sunspot erupts. And here's the chilling truth. Our infrastructure is not built to handle the most extreme solar events. We are flying blind into the sunstorm. Thankfully, we are not completely in the dark. NASA and NOAA monitor the sun 24/7 with advanced space telescopes like SOHO and Solar Dynamic Observatory. These instruments detect sunspot activity, magnetic field disruptions, and early signs of flares, giving us precious hours to prepare. But here's the catch. The sun's magnetic field this cycle is more chaotic than scientists expected, making predictions harder than ever. That's why missions like Parker Solar Probe and ESA's Solar Orbiter are critical. They are diving straight into the solar inferno to unlock the sun's deepest secrets before the next big one hits. So the next time you glance at an image of the sun and spot a tiny dark blemish, don't ignore it. It could be a ticking time bomb, a magnetic storm just waiting to strike. But what if I told you the sun doesn't just show signs, it sings them? And in your next video, we'll explore the mind-blowing discovery. The sun creates sound waves, and scientists are now listening to its deep vibrations. What are they hearing, and what could it mean? Hit that like button if you learned something new. Drop your biggest sunspot shock in the comments, and subscribe with notifications, because we are just beginning to hear the sun's hidden voice. And I'll meet you in the next video.